It's got mad different views. Don't get confused by the cameras.
We got other cameras now?
Yeah, so yeah. I got one right here.
Oh, you.
Yeah.
Shit, man, something else up there. Oh, I ain't got that. Whatever.
What do you mean? Once you if you just go and click on the stream that I put on the Facebook thing, then it'll pop your screen on too. So everybody's screens just start popping up.
What?
Yeah.
So you put it on the book. I gotta log into the book on here. I ain't never do that. All right.
Yeah, we're a little bit behind schedule, but you know how it would be. You know, when the whole team didn't arrive with their pads, you gotta make sure everybody got their mouthpieces. You know what I mean? Got a couple players who ain't wearing the right color socks. We just gotta get everything a little bit organized. But we coming. Somebody said, "Who the top 7 you?" Hey,
it's boy. Right.
Right. I think the top 7 you player actually. I'm gonna play his highlight while we wait, y'all. This kid, his dad was like pressing me like, "Yo, what's up, man? Like, my kid ain't good enough." I actually looked at the video, bro. This kid is going off. Watch this highlight right here, y'all.
But he balling.
Yeah. That was impressive. Oh, shoot, it's not letting me comment. Oh, that's the group. Yeah. So that, that's what we do in top 10. We really that kid was pretty exceptional, man. Yo, if you think your kid's as good or even better than that kid, don't talk junk in the comments, man. You guys submit your nomination. Like again, I ain't Black Santa. I'm not riding around in my magical football sled, seeing every football play that's happening, man. If you think your kid's like that, submit the highlight, man. And you share it on your own page. That's good, but it's not gonna reach the reach that we got because we got people from all over looking and comparing. So yeah, just submit your highlight, man. We gonna put it out. You know what I mean? That's our goal. Our goal is to get your kid in front of people, man. You know what I mean? In front of those Catholic school scouts, in front of the public school scouts.
Yep. Yeah, like we said last night, submit. Submit. Don't hate, submit. We watch a lot of film. Submit the videos, do the write-up, and let's get these kids recognized.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so Coach, we're gonna put that link in the chat. So as we go through the tonight, you guys can submit, and recommend your kids. We just want to highlight them, man. That's what we enjoy doing. I don't know about the other coaches in the room. I kind of do know about them, but I will tell you, I spend most of my Saturdays and Sundays watching youth football. While Coach Fred is telling me about Penn State, You know, he loves Penn State. I love USC. I'm at a Mattapan game, man. Like that's my idea of a good time. So yeah, man. And if you guys want us to come out to the games, man, I'm gonna tell you, man. You know, if I'm going to Puerto Rico town, man, I want some rice and beans. Like, y'all gotta take care of the host. You know, I went out to Lynn. You know, I think I had like a nice exotic South Asian dish that was provided to me. Show us some hospitality, man. Show us some love.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think we're ready to start the stream. Coach X.
All right, welcome everybody. Once again, this is New England Top 10, and I just want to introduce the panel real quick. To my right, behind me, we have Coach Freddie. He's the offensive line coach for the 12U Springfield Tigers. He's a two-time Connecticut AYF champion and a two-time regional New England champion. Along with that, Coach Freddie's offense is averaging around 200 yards rushing a game. Very formidable offense, averaging about 41 points a game. So that's Coach Freddie. He's been to Florida twice in the last 2 years, and very experienced members of the 12U Springfield Tigers. Directly across, we have Coach Waddy. He's been the head coach for the 9U, 10U, 11U, 12U, 13, and 14U Springfield Tigers. He's been to 3 regional championships for CTAYF. One of the most decorated coaches in Springfield, if not the most decorated coach. He's also running Western Mass FBU. So just keep your ears open and your eyes open for that. And also he's in the community as well with his neighborhood guidance. So when it comes to youth football camps or counseling and tutoring, neighborhood guidance with Coach Waddy.
Absolutely.
And then directly is his vehicle that he's using to assist kids in the community. His business, Neighborhood Guidance, is for youth football camps, counseling, and tutoring. So once again, Neighborhood Guidance for your youth football and counseling and tutoring needs. Across from me is Coach Cotton. He's the head coach of the 12U Springfield Tigers. one of the most influential leaders in the city of Springfield, defending back-to-back two-time 10U, 11U, now with 12U, looking for a three-peat, defending champion of Connecticut AYF and regional champion of American Youth Football. He's the founder of New England Top 10. And also he works at the South End Community Center as a director, where he has Biddy Ball and Itty Bitty Ball, and continues to assist kids to get through life and get through football and anything else in between.
All right, so yeah, that's all those accolades is good. Let's start the show. We started Top 10 New England for one reason. We need to step up the culture of football in New England.
Absolutely.
Anybody who's been to nationals will tell you that we're behind as far as a culture, as far as the knowledge that we have, and we just want to step it up. So we don't feel like teams from New England should have to go 8-10 hours away to play good games. But right now, it's kind of what's essential so that we could step the level of play up. And so, you know, when we came up with the rankings and we started putting up the rankings, what you saw was teams started to realize, oh, there's a team in Rhode Island that's pretty good. Let me go challenge them. Oh, there's a team in the 2 towns over that they got ranked higher than me, but I haven't played them because they're in a different league affiliation. You know what? I'm going to step outside that league affiliation and we're going to set up a scrimmage so we can see who really is the best. So that's what Top 10 New England is about, and that's what we have started to accomplish, is people actually stepping up and settling it on the field instead of all the talking behind the scenes.
Yeah, Coach. So, you know, we had some frequently asked questions. Any comments, any questions about, you know, how teams are ranked? What's the formula that's used? You know, is it strength of schedule? Is it head-to-head? What's some of the things that we're using to determine these rankings?
All right. First of all, it's what happens in regional play. So who wins the regional championship? The team that wins the regional championship is number one.
Absolutely.
All right. After that, we look at how the face-to-face matchups with the regional champion. So in the semifinals, there might be a game where it's 30-0. The finals, it might be a game where it's 40-2. And then in the state championship game might have been like a 20-7 game. So when we look at that, we say, well, wow, that state championship game was way more competitive than the regional championship game. So the loser of the state championship game to that regional champion would be number 2. And then we slot them accordingly based on their loss to the champion. After that, now we can see how competitive the league is, right? Because if the champion from that league is dominating and blowing everybody out from their league, but they're getting blown out in regional play, that means that the league play is really soft.
Right.
And so that league is only going to get one team ranked in the top 10. Whereas if the league play is consistently 20-15 games, 20-16 games, you know, back and forth, neck and neck, it's a competitive league. The top end might not be as strong,
right,
but they deserve, you know, 2 or 3 teams in the top 10. So that's kind of the formula that we follow.
One of the questions I see a lot of times it was why aren't specific teams ranked? So, you know, to go back kind of how we started this, you know, this discussion, if you want to be ranked, you know, we need the information. All right. You just heard who we are, where we're from. We play in a specific league, you know, we play in a specific conference. We don't see these other teams until we get to regionals. So if you're not a team that we've seen in regionals, we're not going to know anything about you, right? Especially if you're playing against these teams that program we come from handled in regionals. We're not thinking to rank that team, right? Realistically, I'll be real with you. Kai's being cool, putting some of you guys in that top 5. I mean, if I was doing those rankings, it would be a bunch of CT teams. It would, because we have more competitive regular season games, right? Or playoff games, state playoff games, than we do regional games. Like, and that's just, you know, that's just my opinion, but that's why we're here. That's why we're here to talk, to get other people's input and try to see if we can mix it up more during the regular season or preseason, because there's no reason why, you know, 8 teams from this conference should be battling for one spot to play one of the winners out of 8 teams from that conference. Like, let's mix it up earlier. I see it starting to happen a little bit more now, but I think, you know, we should, you know, if you want to play more competition, you know, you're going to play a team you're going to beat by 40, you know, not looking forward to that game. We should be trying to mix it up during the season so we could play more competitive teams. It's only going to make all of us better.
That's
exactly. Coach Freddie, I was going to ask you, what's your take on, the state of youth football right now, as far as in comparison to our regular season games compared to when we go to regionals?
So, I believe, but to touch on what Coach Laddie was saying, I do think Connecticut does have a very strong football base, at least in the AYF side. Pop Warner,
Right.
I don't know much of it, but what it sounds like, Massachusetts on the other side of the state is very competitive as well.
Right.
So I can't say AYF or Pop Warner is better. I do think we do need some type of game or jamboree. We've been talking about it because I think, obviously everyone's going to rep their league, rep their conference,
right.
as we are in our room, because,
Right.
We play the Hartfords, we play the Meridans, we play the New Britons, I don't know anything about Mattapan. I don't know. I know we played Lynn in the regionals, and I think it was a healthy game. I think we walked out of that game like, all right.
Yeah, they were physical.
All right.
Yeah.
Lynn was physical, but
Definitely got respect for Lynn.
Yeah,
for sure.
They play a ball control game.
Yep.
A physical game. And I think what hurt Lynn in that regional semifinals is that they don't see better teams.
Yeah, you
And
could tell. Yeah, you could just tell, man. And when we're playing RMG, some of the other ones, Brooklyn Chiefs. It's a lot different than, and there's no disrespect to any teams, but it's a lot different than playing the Chiefs, CLC, F. So I appreciate that, Coach. So just to have an honest conversation about strength of schedule.
Okay.
Because some of these leagues that we play in are stronger than others, as we do know. And we did talk about last night, there's quite a few teams that are ducking the smoke. So as far as strength of schedule, how important is that, Coach Waddy?
Strength of schedule is everything. As far as the ranking goes, that's pretty much the only way we really can determine who goes where because we don't all play each other. I wish there was a way we could format it where it's like, hey, the top teams, those guys that want to be competitive and play against the best teams, play against one another. But that's pretty much all we have to go off of right now. So to kind of go back to what Coach Cotton said, when, let's say 12U Tigers, for example, are going on their journey, the most competitive team that they've been playing the past couple of years has been Meriden. So, regardless of Meriden not going to the championship, not winning the championship and going to regionals and another team from Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Eastern Mass going to the champion. It's like the results look different. Hey, we beat Meriden by 2-3 scores. We're beating y'all in the first half.
Great.
There's no way. I don't care what you did during the season. There's no way I'm going to rank you before that team because if you were to play that team, they're going to beat you too.
Right. And I think Coach Cotton, you stressed that last night as well. And I saw that in some of the comments as well. But I do want to remind folks that, we are human. We do make errors, or there might be things in the league that you don't know that's going on. There was a situation where I think it was 5 games, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
A team essentially forfeited 5 games. However, they're, a good team. So there's little nuances like that. So I guess.
So here's another example. Yeah. So Mattapan played Lynn. It was 13-8. Lynn was second. Mattapan was third. Mm-hmm. It was 8U result. I'm not dropping Lynn, man. Like, I'm going to put Mattapan over Lynn, but I still got Lynn as one of the top 3 teams. I don't see anyone else beating them. So, there's one guy, every time we drop the rankings, he wants to know the team's rank, the team's standing, score, their records.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, first of all, I'm not going to give you the formula, bro. I put like 6-7 hours in finding all the team's results. I'm not just going to give it to you so you can create your own rankings respectfully. That's number one. And then number 2, it's like, bro, I know way more about these teams than you do. So if I say that the team is number 3, there's a pretty good chance that team is gonna win against the teams that's below them. That's the reason I rank them like that, because it looks bad on me if I rank a team number 2 and they get dog walked by an unranked team. So it's very important for me to go out and make sure that I'm seeing every possible team that there is, so that we don't have any kind of crazy upsets like that. Now, you know, it's any given Sunday, but I think that we've scouted our teams pretty good, that the teams that are ranked higher would win 90% of the time versus a team that's ranked lower.
Right.
Yeah, you know, that's a good point you touched on, Coach. So let's get into some primetime players.
Hold on. I got a question. How do you rank teams out of different leagues, like Pop Warner versus AYF?
So right now, we're not ranking Pop Warner and AYF teams together. That's caused several issues in our community, and the football community is really small. But when we did do that, it's based on head-to-head matchups. So, you know, Springfield Tigers played the West Row I said the team is number Seahawks, right? And that result was 2013. So, you know, West Haven goes to number 1, Springfield goes to number 2, and then we rank them accordingly. So if West Haven's beating everybody they play by 40 points, nobody else they play gets put on the rankings. But if Springfield's playing a team and they're beating a team by, let's say, 14 to 21, okay, those teams are a little bit closer. So it's really like the margin of victory. We like the scores. We like the film even better. And I try to stay away from 12U film, especially for Lynn and for Mattapan and for Leo Minster, because I don't want to have a competitive advantage. I don't believe in it. I'm an ethical ranker. But for everyone else, send me the film so I can put my eyes on you. If I look at your team, you can see the explosion, you can see the execution, you can see the blocking, you can see the tackling, you can see the fundamental contained principles. And then, yeah, we are able to rank the teams like that.
Yeah, you got to send the film. I mean, the video don't lie. Now, one of the things when we look at film too, we need to know who's playing each other. It's a big difference, and again, it's no disrespect, but it's a big difference between Elm City playing Waterbury than it is Meriden playing Springfield. So the film is very important. We look at it, like we said, straight to schedule, head to head. But let's get into some primetime players. Seen a lot of good football this weekend. What's some of the primetime players that we have?
All you got to do is submit a couple of highlight clips, a blurb about their stats, the best that you have them. Nobody's a statistician out there. Give us a couple contacts for coaches that coach for the kid. And if you could find a coach that coached against the kid, sometimes the coaches who coach against the kids give the best insight onto how good that kid really is. And then we can spotlight the kids, man, because that's what it's all about.
Yeah, seriously. I remember, and, you know, we went up to Rochester, play RMG, and, you know, the team that had played them previously was like, hey, look, this is what they're doing, and, you know, gave pretty good scouting. So I think sometimes as coaches, we think we know everything, and we don't always listen. So we need the film. We're listening. We're watching. Okay. So yeah, let's talk about some of these young ladies, the girls that are playing. But before we do that, let's talk about the best playing the best. In Springfield, we call it iron sharpening iron. So let's just talk about that real quick, and using these rankings to set up scrimmages and games.
So, I mean, I'll start it off.
Okay.
I'm in the business of calling teams out. So, right, you know, there's a few programs that always talk that we the best. But when we invite them to play us, there's always an excuse.
Right.
All right.
A waiver.
Yeah, there's always an excuse. Like, there's not a team, there's not a program where we ever said, nah, we don't know, we got to think about it, or we make up some excuse or blame it on somebody blocking it. Nobody's blocking it but them. And that's just how I feel, right? I'm not going to name drop today because it's episode 0. You know, I'm not going to name drop today because it's episode 0. But y'all seen my name in them comments. Y'all seen my name in y'all inboxes. Stop talking. Like, don't talk about you being the best program or you having the best team at any age when we're saying, okay, let's line it up, and you have an excuse.
Yeah, Coach,
Right.
I've seen that at least 2 or 3 times this past week. Definitely.
It's too much of that. It's too much of that.
Yeah.
Like way too much of that, especially if you're out here losing. Yeah. You talking about teams, unblemished teams. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you got that L on your record from a team in your conference, you should not be talking to us about anything. All right.
Yeah, what's your thoughts, Coach Freddie? Because I know you see a lot of the curve techniques and things of that nature. So look, I'm not going to play you, but I'm going to call myself the best in New England. That's what I'm saying. What's your thoughts on that, Coach?
My dad always told me everyone has a right to an opinion, right? I don't got to agree to it, but it's their opinion. But to Coach Waddy's point, let's just stop dodging each other, right? And and us being top dogs in the 12U division, people call us out all the time, and there are some conflicts of schedule, right? Because there's only so many weekends a month, field, things like that. But don't do it 4 days in advance. Like, don't call me on Tuesday talk about I want to play on Sunday.
Right.
Tell me back in April.
Yeah.
On the off season. Let's line it up. So what I'm looking for, because culturally, right? Because let's go back to the beginning. Culturally, right? Everyone talks how football is great in the South and all that. I saw Rare Breeds post on February and March in the national big group. Open dates, pick them. They filled them up. They filled them up.
Right.
And then September came, and they had a September that I had never seen, and they beat everyone soundly.
It was what 40-point victories everywhere
against like
Division I national champions.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
We ain't never seen anything like that.
Yeah. Shout out to the Rare Breeds, man.
Yeah.
We see you.
But we can have a similar culture up here. So if you do think that your program is that type of caliber, that's great. Believe it. But don't just talk about it, be about it.
Right. And that was very well said, coaches. I agree with you. I mean, you know me, let's line it up and let's see what happens. But that's definitely something that has to just stop, man. It's kind of like, I'm gonna steal your school lunch and beat you up and be the bully, but I'm scared to fight somebody my same size. You know what I mean? So,
hey, real quick on that note, man, like y'all like posting these 48 to donut scores and you're playing against the children of the poor, like respectfully, like, 3 of those kids on the other team are 6-year-olds and you're 8U team. We see that, man. We don't have no respect for that. So when you post that score, don't think it's going to move you up in the rankings.
Yeah.
Now, if you play that inner city team from Boston, or you play the inner city team from New Haven, and you go down there and you win a 25-21 grinded out game, now our antennas are up. Now that's what we respect.
Right.
I mean, nobody respects those blowouts with the teams that we know that don't even belong in the same conference as you.
No, that's what you're supposed to do.
Exactly.
But yeah, October is breast cancer awareness month. And let's talk about first of all, there's a lot of great women in this game right now. A lot of team moms, head coaches, assistant coaches, even players. So let's get into some of the girls that are in the game right now.
All right, so we got from Springfield, we got Maddie. Madeline, what's her last name?
Burge.
Madeline Burge. Madison.
Yeah.
Madison Burge. She's a 11-year-old cornerback. She plays with the boys. She also does travel flag football, and travel flag football for girls is unbelievably competitive around the nation, man. And those girls that Coach Jeff from New Britain put together in 32 Sports, they get a lot of girls from different areas. So they pick a girl from this town, that town. They put them together. They go traveling, man. That's a great experience. If you ever done AAU basketball or travel football, just getting out and seeing a different culture is a big thing. But Maddie is a very humble player. I heard a story from last weekend. Coach, you want to tell that story about the line after the game?
Oh yeah. So to preface that, so they were trying. We don't think they knew that she was a girl. they were trying her because, I mean, physically, just looking at her stature, she looks smaller, right?
Yeah.
So they were trying her. 0 catches on her side, and they tried her a lot. And she had at least 3 pass deflections. 2 of them should have been picks. And listen, like Coach said, we don't treat her no different. So we got on her for that because 2 of them should have been picks. And yeah, so at the end of the game, we like, Maddie, of course, every coach, tells their player, keep your helmets on when you're going through that line because you just never know.
Yeah, you never know
what kind of players you're lining up against, especially when you beat them. Nope, take your helmet off, right? And walk through in front. So, Maddie got pretty long, beautiful hair. So, the players seen it. And the first thing a coach said, I believe, is, oh, shoot, that's a girl. And here's the funniest part, right? Here's the funnier part. We put her on opposing team sideline because Maddie got a little mouth on her. So she be talking crazy. So we put her on the opposing team sideline, and, she be just going back and forth like she holds her own. She don't need to be on our sideline where you got to continuously coach her up. She's good.
Right.
We trust her. She's a baller. But yeah, that's how the DAP line went on Saturday.
So out of Waterbury, we have Jocelyn Velez. Jocelyn Velez plays cornerback and running back. And the Waterbury Patriots are a solid program in Pop Warner. And we want to give her a shout out. We're just waiting for her parents to give us some more contact information for coaches so we can finish that right up. If you're a business in the Waterbury area and would like to power her spotlight, hit us up. It's only $25 to power an athlete's spotlight, and it helps us to create quality reviews and give the kids the attention that they want. We're also looking to start sponsoring some of these Facebook ads so that we can actually get it out to more people because we're so proud of all our kids in New England. Stella Harrison, aka the Football Diva, is a quarterback and defensive end for the Edgewood Eagles 6U team. She is a monster. She looks bigger than everybody on the field when you watch her on film. And again, that's one of those girls where, nowadays the boys wear their hair long too. So you can't say, oh, they got long hair, that's a girl. But man, she plays just as strong and tough as the boys. From the Leominster Junior Blue Devils, quarterback Malia Reyes. She was on our highlight tape from last week. She's bigger than the boys too, and she balls out. She's tough. Our rivals, but definitely got love for this young lady. Icebox, aka Jocelyn Lozano, has been going at it with the boys from Springfield and all over New England.
Is that the New Britain?
Yeah.
New Britain. Yeah. She's good.
Yeah. When we share her spotlight, like that was like the second most viewed spotlight.
Yeah, she's good.
Everybody was sharing it. Icebox. Right, that's like literally one of the coldest nicknames in New England. You know what I mean? Jazz, Icebox, Lozano. And then so again, we have I know East Lynn, I'm waiting for a nomination. They have 3 girls out there that are playing, and then another coach had 5 girls playing spring travel football. So keep submitting those nominations so we can highlight the girls because girls play too. And I just want to give a shout out to my cousin Candace, who when I coached her when she was 10 years old, she was better than Wayne Morgan and Curtis Samuels when she was at the 9-year-old level. Now, obviously, those dudes, one dude went on to star for Syracuse, the other dude is starring in the NFL right now. Absolutely. Genetics kicks in after a while, but she was definitely tough at the 9U and 10U level. So shout out to Candace Bogutz.
All right, no, that's awesome. So once again, shout out to all the girls in the game. We appreciate you. So let's shift gears a little bit, coaches. Unfortunately, and Coach Cotton, I'm glad that you posted that reminder. Before we the reminder about participation and being positive in the stands and things like that. It's way too many issues we're seeing with parents or other folks that are in the stands creating issues, or even coaches for that matter. We saw a coach this past weekend, the first quarter of a football game, run across the field to another coach and start yelling at him while the play was in progress. And it didn't get flagged. So not only is that a safety concern, it's poor sportsmanship. So, these type of things are starting to become more prevalent in the game. Coaches, in your opinion, what are some of the things that we should be doing as coaches to try to decrease that type of behavior? And I'm gonna start with you, Coach Waddy. What do you think to curb some of this? It's just a lot of issues going on with coaches, like if they lost or they don't like a call or whatever the case may be. Just next thing you know, it's a fight.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
No, I know exactly what you mean. I mean, I can say I've never seen coaches fight live in person. Of course, you see things on the internet, but I do see some coaches directing too much attention to the opposing sideline, right? So I mean, I can't really speak for them. I don't know where that stems from. But one of my practices is I don't even talk crazy to other kids. I see coaches do that, like how we talked about having players lined up on the opposing sideline if they're a receiver, their corner, whatever, and coach is saying something to them, right? The other day, a kid fell on our sideline like he was banged up. We helped him up, right? A good game, way to ball. But I think some coaches get a little too competitive. I don't want to dive too deep, but I think some people try to live through kids a little too much, right? Instead of just allowing them to be kids, and you be their coach, you be their mentor. Right. But yeah, I mean, I can say that. I mean, I can't really speak to it too much. Again, one of my practices, try not to talk aggressively or in a manner that's not respectful to an opposing player or a coach.
Right. Everybody, just as a reminder, and I always tell Coach Cotton this, because my expectations are really high. We got to remember, these kids are 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and some are 14. So remember when you were 14, bottom line, some of y'all never even played. I'm just going to throw it out there.
That's a fact.
Some of y'all never played. So if you never really played and the child was like better than you were at that age, how dare you,
demean and berate them.
Right. It's not it.
One of the things I find, just like as a coach, is I try to figure out, first of all, I try to learn what the referee style is, what they're going to call, what they're not going to call, what's their blind spots. If you're a coach and you know that the referee is not going to call holding on the inside, let you guys know it's fair game on the inside. If you're a coach and like at this edge, you're not getting the holding calls, have your contained player play the outside shoulder and turn the man.
Right.
It's bad coaching when you're trying to get the referee to change, because we're supposed to be getting the kids to change. And that's one of the biggest things that I would say is, like, the more that I ask questions from the referee and let the referee talk and hear themselves talk, the more I feel like the calls start to change. And I start to get an understanding of what they're seeing and how they're calling the game. So that's one of the biggest ways that we can refrain from conflicts. The other thing is, remember, the referees are paid to come and ref the game. But the coaches, we're there, we're controlling our sideline and we're controlling our parents. So if you as a coach, head coach or assistant coach, is losing your temper, who's going to be the sane and reasonable person for the people in the stands? So you got to remember that. I look at myself in the mirror every day before I get out in that field. And it's a tremendous responsibility. You're a leader, a pillar of the community. And that's an awesome responsibility. And so we got to go out to that field and do that, man. We got to go out there and represent, and we got to go out there and set the example for these young men, because we're faced with conflicts and we're faced with
like
adversity, and the way we respond to the adversity is the way our players will. If I see a player arguing with the ref, most likely I'm going to see if I see a coach arguing with the ref, most likely the players arguing with the ref. And it's a kid who's not in control of their lives, because if I'm blaming everything on everyone else, that means I have a poor internal locus of control.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I totally agree, Coach.
And I just want to jump in and say this, because Colin said something that kind of just struck a light. Stop blaming losses on refs, because your kids hear that.
It's my biggest pet peeve.
Kids hear that.
Yeah.
And I got kids, like I'll see, kids in my family that don't play for our program, or kids that I know that, don't play for our program. And, oh yeah, it was the refs. No, it wasn't. There's not a player that ever played for me that you would ever hear say that. And if they ever said that, they didn't say it around me, and I don't know where they got it from, because we don't blame losses on refs at all, ever. ever. So like, get your kids out of that. I see it happen more with parents. So parents, you got to educate yourself a little more sometimes too. It's not the ref's fault, right? I seen parents yelling at refs and the ref made the right call, right? All right. So we just got to get out of the habit of that too.
I mean, it just happened to us a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
Like we had a kick return happen, and we thought it was a bad call. I mean, the coaches. I mean, we threw a hand like, no, that's a BS call. The ref literally looked at our side like, he goes, "Watch the film and you owe me an apology."
Mm.
And we watched the film.
Apologize to that. Right now.
Yo, Mr. Official from which game was it? The Harper game.
Harper.
Mr. Official from the Harper game. I'm sorry, bro. You were right.
He said it with his chest out.
Yeah, he did.
Watch the film.
Hey, at least I know you're recording our games, right?
Facts.
Right.
Got the huddle in the sky.
So, I mean, really what we're talking about is mental health is really what we're talking about. So stop living through the kids, okay? And, let them be kids and play, okay? So let's shift gears a little bit.
Well, real quick, while we talk about mental health,
Okay.
Neighborhood Guidance provides mental health services for children, especially young athletes.
Student athletes, yes.
Young student athletes. So if you're in the Springfield area, you can get in-person consultations. But if you're in the New England area, we do provide remote services.
Absolutely.
So if you have a young man that's melting down in a game, you just can't figure out how to help him, contact Coach Waddy and Neighborhood Guidance. He's going to provide them with the support that they need so that they can get the help that they need.
Absolutely.
And, just give a shout out to our sponsors real quick. New England Floor and Wall, Ken Bonney, Neighborhood Guidance, like we just talked about with Coach Waddy. For all your real estate needs, Coach Freddie Gonzalez Real Estate, and vote Hurst for mayor
In Springfield.
Springfield.
Yes,
Yes.
sir. He supports the kids.
Yes, he does.
All right, so we talked about mental health in youth football. Coach Cotton, I would like for you to address a very important topic. Now, Coach Cotton, I've known you for over 20 years, closer to 25 years I've known you.
Since college.
Since college. We played football together in college. And I know you've always been probably the hardest work on the team. I would have to say that. Prior to you getting the team, I was a junior. You came in as a freshman. And I'm like, man, who is this guy? Like, he's just working harder than everybody. Coach Cotton, you probably sleep about, 3 or 4 hours a day?
Yeah, maybe 4.
So, if he's not, being a husband, being a father, he's doing top 10 New England. He's coaching Springfield Tigers.
And I'm an assistant principal.
And he's an assistant principal.
On top of it.
Can't forget that.
You know what I mean?
We also work.
Yeah.
So the reason I bring all this up, I think a lot of people don't understand or realize the amount of time and effort that you put into the rankings.
Yeah.
So let's just address the naysayers real quick, the haters.
Right. So when you hop in the comments and you saying that I hate a certain town,
Oh my God.
it really, I'm gonna go back to the previous topic. It shows me that you have some mental health concerns. If you see me in public, I'll give you a hug, bro. It's not that serious. So the thing is, there's 2 types of communicators for Top 10 New England. They're the effective communicators, those people who behind the scenes provide us with information, who help us with logistics, who help us with the website, who help us put things together, who sponsor things, who provide constructive criticism in the inbox or even in the comments. And then there are the people who name call, who try to discredit the platform. So I'm going to tell you like this. We will discuss and have dialogue with people. We don't have to agree. But what you won't do is you won't just try to discredit a platform that a lot of people look to highlight their kids. So we got a 3-strike rule. 3 times disrespecting the platform, you will be blocked from Top 10 New England. You can watch us from the screenshots. And that's for the haters.
Hey, you heard him. Keep it positive. So, we're going to have a little segment in the future episodes. This is just episode 0, working out the kinks, things like that. We're going to have a segment where Coach Waddy makes his predictions for the upcoming week of football. So I just want to throw that out there. And Coach Waddy, what's some of the things you're going to be looking to do? This is really one of my favorite things.
Just so you guys know, it's only going to be teams that are top 10 teams, right? So hopefully we get some top 10 matchups in there. But I will say, even if it's not a top 10 matchup, if you're a top 10 team and you're playing somebody that you know you're going to be, you know what the prediction is going to be. You better not make me look bad. All right. But some of the things I'm just looking for, what I'm going to base my predictions off of. I'll be real with you. I'm going by conferences first.
Mm-hmm.
Call me biased. I don't care. But if a Connecticut team is playing at Eastern Mass or Central Mass, they're going to win. That's just my prediction. Did it last year in regionals, and I was right every time. And I just want to say this too. I'll throw this in there before I forget. This is on my mind, right? The reason why I feel so strongly about this conference being the strongest one, not just because we're in it, because I honestly feel like our 4 seed can beat some of those teams 1 seeds, right? Not just talking about the Springfield Tigers. If you look at the regionals the past few years, the teams that are being sent to nationals are all coming from the CTYFC. Besides one team, and that was Fairlawn Cardinals, because that kid was named Sebastian Nova.
Sebastian Laura.
Laura. That boy was good, right? And because of him, he will mess it up for the CT teams. He was the only one doing it. He did it like 2-3 years in a row.
Yeah.
Outside of that, Connecticut teams.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, Coach Waddy. I'm just looking at and thinking about all the 9U, 10U, 11U,
Connecticut teams
on down, and it's the same teams. If it's not Springfield, if it's not Meriden, if it's not Bridgeport,
Hartford for a while was winning.
Hartford.
But
London went out there, brought a few teams.
New London a couple of times. But I want to go. If I go back to like even 10 years ago, the Fall River Falcons were sending teams.
Yeah, Fall River. Yeah.
Fairlawn and AYF has a rich history, and the Worcester Cowboys have a history of sending teams down. CLCF has sent some teams definitely to Florida. Not that many. But while we talk about Florida, CLCF I want to give a big shout out to the Central Mass AYF conference.
Yeah, they do it right.
So they do. They send down a team called the Chaos, and it's a team of all-stars from the Central Mass area. And they don't just go down for a vacation. They're down there placing first and second in almost every age bracket. So shout out to the Central Mass teams.
Absolutely.
Everybody's not going to go to nationals with the team, but you can go with your all-star team. New Hampshire puts teams together. The Blackstone Valley and Central Mass puts teams together. And I'm hoping that Mattapan and Lynn can figure it out and get a team from Eastern Mass out there. I'm not assuming that they don't make it. If they make it, then someone else sends a team. But it's an amazing experience. It's a lot of networking that happens. When my son was young, we used to watch Friday Night Tykes. Yeah. We went down there, and the San Antonio Outlaws were in the same bracket as us.
Yes, they were.
San Antonio was
and we've seen Coach Fred a couple times, a few years in a row. We've seen Coach Fred.
We're YouTube stars like the OG Ducks. I'm watching the game. I'm watching the OG Ducks. They're playing blow the whistle. I'm up there looking at the moms, dancing. Hey, listen, I ain't gonna lie. I do look at the moms respectfully. Love my wife, but you could look. I look. And it's different flavors out there too. You see the California.
See the Samoans. What? We don't see that many Samoans.
We don't see Samoans,
we don't see Samoans at all. We don't got Samoans. No. I need a Samoan out here, man.
Yeah.
Build my program up. Yeah. So I do want to say this though for Central Mass, right? Talking about that Commonwealth Chaos team. They said over 500 kids were at their trials.
Wow.
Over 500 kids at their trials.
How many they had on the roster?
I don't even know, but
those all-star teams don't have a lot of kids on it, right? Like 20, 22 kids.
Over 500 kids between two sites. Like that's just the fact that they can do. Central Mass is doing it right.
Yeah.
Listen, Central Mass, we look at your standings. Like we watch what you guys are doing. Whoever's in charge over there, keep it up.
And I like that Central Mass is one of the teams that one of the organizations that sets up the cross conference games.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And so they'll play. So last year, I think we had Central Falls Panthers ranked 6th. And a team from Central Mass played them on a Wednesday.
Was that the 9U? Was that the?
It was like a 10U or 11U.
You mean our 9U or
No.
okay.
no.
So it was a team last year. I can't remember the exact team. I'll have it for next episode. But they played on a Wednesday last year, and the team from Central Mass won. So they inboxed me and they were like, "Yeah, we just beat your number 6 team 26-6." I said, "On a Wednesday?" I said, "Yeah, we got the film." I watched the film. It was a legit game. We changed the rankings up. Central Falls is like, no, that was a scrimmage. Listen, I'm not gonna drop Central. I'm not gonna drop Central Falls for playing the game, right? But we gotta report our losses as well as our wins, man. It only makes us better. But yeah, those types of games, they help us to compare the different conferences.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Speaking of Central Falls, that 9U team that went undefeated and won it last year came to Springfield and got handled by our Springfield Tiger team, who was a 4 seed last year. This is why I feel every time I get a chance to give you an example, I'm going to give you an example because they got handled and they went undefeated. They thought they were it, and no, they weren't.
Yeah, so we're gonna let's come back. I want to talk about the FBU too, but Coach Freddie, I want to talk to you about just your opinion of the competition on the regional level, because we see a lot of teams during the league and whatnot, but we're really just like Coach Waddy said, we're looking at conferences now. So what's your opinion, the CT, AYF, in comparison to like Central Mass, Eastern Mass, some of the other teams we see like CLCF, there's Mattapan.
The team that we saw from New Hampshire when we watched that game.
Yeah, the New Hampshire, Lincoln Lions, I think was one. And then the other one was Lynn Rams.
I think Coach Waddy already hit it on the head with once you get out of the Connecticut state, it's kind of a cakewalk to Florida. And I mean, you can say that respectfully as you can, but it's just the facts are the facts. I mean, I don't have the historical data on me to say how far back that goes.
Right.
But the facts are the facts.
Mm-hmm.
I personally would take a page out of the NCAA, what's going on now with conference realignment.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be too mad at, seeing Lynn during the regular season, seeing Mattapan during the regular season, or Rhode Island teams during the regular season. I wouldn't be mad at it at all. And I think we already travel enough.
Right.
If I'm driving to Bridgeport, that's 2 hours one way.
Mm-hmm.
I can go 2 hours the other way relatively easily.
Yeah.
So,
and that's the thing, though, Coach Fred. I think that for us it's normal. For them, it's not. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We're from Springfield. We're playing Connecticut teams, so we have no problem traveling 90 minutes. So we're prepared. This is what we do. We know it.
But what about that
they're 20 minutes away from one another.
Yeah.
So that's what they want, because I've had conversations with some of those programs like Lynn, and they're like, us being who we are, them being a first-time AYF team last year, we brought teams out there to scrimmage them just because we wanted some work, right? You would think, they would accept the invite and drive up there. Like, we can't get out there. So I feel a lot of those teams act like they can't get the transportation, right? But then, you at the tail end, you had to come out here anyway and get handled again. Yeah.
So what I want to say on that note is, I do, after going out there, right, from being from New York City, being from Brooklyn, a lot of us didn't have cars. And so like city games is easy to get to. You get on a 3, you get on the 67,
the commuter rail.
Right. So when I'm out watching the Mattapan versus Hyde Park game, the T is flying by every 10 minutes.
Right.
It's like something that if you're out there, you wouldn't notice it. But the parking situation is horrible. It's that city's not designed to be driving and parking.
Right.
But it is designed to hop on the T and get to your destination. So I understand, like, even when I was in Lynn, the T will take you from Lynn to Mattapan.
Oh,
you know what I mean? So the different areas are set up differently. We're set up to travel. We drive everywhere. But to Coach Waddy's point, if you want to be a national team, you're gonna have to travel. And so those types of logistics, getting a school bus, man, you gotta have the school bus ready if you want to be a top team, especially in New England. You gotta travel around and get the smoke.
Yeah. And I could tell you just from a personal standpoint, I think sometimes as coaches we get proud. We're giving you some of the secrets right now. Some of you are too proud to listen and write it down, but some of these things we're saying is some of the things we actually did over the last 4 years, 3 years, and whatnot. I mean, Coach Waddy, you go to Florida every year. You might as well get a duplex down there or a timeshare or something.
I mean, that's all about it.
You know what I mean?
Now that it's in Naples, that's too rich.
So,
for
you
my
know,
blood.
we can all learn from each other with this platform as well. It's not about, you know, who's you know, better than who all the time. It's sometimes we need to listen to each other as coaches, parents, boosters, team moms, whatever. So, you know, gentlemen, you know, I appreciate you guys coming in. Once again, I'm Coach X, Coach Cotton, Coach Waddy, Coach Freddie. Do we have any anything else we want to touch on? Any closing comments?
So I was gonna scroll through the comments and see if there was any questions that we missed before we head out.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, Coach Waddy. Can you just talk about your FBU real quick?
So West Mass, so FBU team is a new FBU chapter out of the Western Mass area. I mean, you know, if you're borderline Central Mass, even some Northern CT, you know, feel free to come through. So we had our first tryout a couple of weeks ago. 18 kids made the team. We're looking for more kids. I'm looking at myself and not the camera. We're looking for more kids to join the team. We have in our second and final tryout, October 30th from 6:30 to 7:30 at Soccer City in Wilbraham, Mass. It's an indoor facility. Of course, you know, it's going to be too dark to have outdoor trials at that time. So it's an indoor facility. If you're interested, I've commented a couple times. Waddy Jenkins on Facebook, or you can go to Top 10 and you can jump in that inbox too. I'll see that as well. So yeah, we're already got a few kids registered, and we're looking to have that national team. So it's a 10U team only. 10U automatically goes to Naples on December 15th to December 19th. So automatic bid to Naples. For those of you that never had that national experience, right, and want to get your kids out there, come out and join us. We're going to Naples. You know, we're going to see what that looks like. It's our first time doing it too, and we're excited.
Yeah, once again, FBU, that's October 30th, Coach?
October 30th trial day, yes, sir.
6:30 to 7:30, and Wilbraham at Soccer City, right next to Interscape. Come on down, and I can tell you, it's nothing like going down to Florida and representing. You know, we've been down there a bunch, and if you haven't, contact Coach Freddie.
So real quick,
I'm sorry, Coach Waddy. Coach Waddy.
So real quick, I see Atlantic Region Top 100 in the building. That's one of the big inspirations for me doing Top 10 New England.
Yeah.
The Atlantic Region. Most regions in the country have a really great presence on social media, highlighting the kids, and they do a great job of highlighting kids from New England. So if you want your kid to get recognized on even a bigger scale than what we're doing in New England, check out Atlantic Region Top 100. And I will also be recommending some kids that I see personally to be recognized by them.
That's right. Shout out to Atlantic Top 100. Shout out.
Yes,
big ups. And you know, Coach Freddie, if you could just talk about you know, your real estate for a quick second before we get off the air.
Yeah, I mean, so my full-time gig is I'm a full-time realtor. I tell people I cover everything from pretty much Hartford to Worcester. I mean, I'll sit here and just I can tell you all my accolades. I'll save you all everything I've won, everything I've done. I'll just tell you that I'm really good at what I do and helping the community, helping people get that generational wealth. Right? That's what I like to work on, you know, because I do deal with a lot of first-time buyers and sellers who they lived in an apartment their entire lives.
Right.
They've never owned any property. So that's something that I do take pride in, helping people from my community own a piece of their community, not just rent a piece of their community.
Absolutely. We thank you for that, Coach. And I thank you too for I mean, over the years, what has been 4 years together? Yeah. And I mean, this is my right hand right here, man. This guy, you know, he's probably forgotten more about offensive line play than I've ever remembered. So, and you know, Coach Cotton, if you want to just touch on Bitty Ball and Itty Bitty Ball, any other programs you have coming up.
So along with my busy schedule with Top 10 New England, one of the things that I find the most joy in is introducing 3- and 4-year-olds to sports. Your first coach can either make you or break you. And when you come to Bitty Ball, Itty Bitty Ball, you will establish the habits to be successful. Our Springfield Tigers program, not all, but in part, has been built through the culmination and fine tuning of identifying players from the 3 and 4 year old age range. We teach them how to get in line. We teach them how to stretch. We teach them how to do small movements. We teach them how to play with the ball. For my teenagers out there, pause. And they, by the time that they're 6 and 7, we got the football coaches coming through the door looking like Nick Saban, like, yo, Coach Cotton, who's next up?
Who is he?
And so if you're from Lynn or you're from New Haven or Bridgeport and you'd like to set up an itty bitty franchise, please contact Coach Cotton. I will help you get that set up. That is one of the biggest things that we do in Springfield that helps us to be very competitive. And you could do it too. Hit me up in my inbox if you want to set up an itty bitty franchise in your city.
And just lastly, I just want to bring it up. For any weddings, any parties, any type of events. Not only do I coach, my DJ name is DJ Clev, CLEV, and the V is for victory. Any closing comments? Any closing comments, coaches?
Nah, I think we did a good job today, man. I look forward to doing this every week, and we will be doing some additional live streams off schedule, just addressing some things or highlighting some kids. So subscribe to Top 10 New England on Facebook. Check us out on the internet at www.top10newengland.com. Follow us on Instagram, Top 10 New England. We also have a Twitch that we will be going live from because we know the kids like the games. Anything the kids want to do, we're going to be in it in an ultimately responsible way.
All right. So for Coach Waddy, Coach Freddie, Coach Cotton, I'm Coach X. See you next week.